The river roared like a beast as lightning cracked across the midnight sky. On one side stood the mighty King Porus, a ruler with a towering presence and an army unlike any Alexander had faced before. On the other side, Alexander the Great, fresh from his victory at the Sogdian Rock, eyed his new challenge with the same relentless ambition that had driven him across continents. This was the Battle of the Hydaspes, a conflict that would test Alexander like never before, pitting him against an enemy who wouldn't yield, and a land that was as much an adversary as the army waiting on the other shore. Would Alexander's genius be enough to conquer the unconquerable, or would this be the battle that finally stopped the unstoppable? Join us as we delve into this epic showdown that took place in 326 BC, where courage, strategy, and sheer determination clashed in one of history's most iconic battles. The Battle of the Hydaspes was no ordinary battle. By the time Alexander reached the banks of the Hydaspes River, his reputation as an undefeated conqueror had spread far and wide. Yet, before him stood King Porus, a formidable warrior who ruled over the land with unmatched strength. This was not a king who would simply bend the knee. His army was vast, but more importantly, it featured a weapon that Alexander had never faced in such numbers before: war elephants, massive beasts trained for battle, ready to trample anything in their path. Alexander, a master tactician, knew that a frontal assault would be disastrous. The raging river stood between his forces and Porus's army, and to attack directly would mean certain death. So, he did what he did best: he improvised. Under the cover of darkness, with rain pouring down in torrents, Alexander moved a portion of his army upriver, crossing at a location where the waters were less treacherous. It was a daring move, fraught with danger, but for Alexander, risk was just another part of his strategy. As dawn broke, Porus realized he had been outmaneuvered. The Macedonian army appeared on his flank, ready to strike, but Porus was no ordinary opponent. Standing tall atop his war elephant, he rallied his forces and prepared to meet Alexander head-on. The battlefield erupted into chaos as thousands of soldiers clashed, the cries of men mingling with the trumpeting of elephants and the thunder of hooves. Alexander's cavalry, known for their speed and precision, circled Porus's army, striking from all sides. Yet, the elephants proved to be a formidable barrier. Charging forward, they scattered Alexander's infantry, their sheer size and strength forcing the Macedonians to fall back. For a moment, it seemed that Porus might have the upper hand, as his war elephants tore through the ranks, trampling men and horses alike. But Alexander had not come this far to be defeated. Observing the battle, he noticed that the elephants were becoming exhausted, their charges less forceful, their movements slower. Seizing the opportunity, he ordered his archers to target the mahouts, the men who guided the elephants. With their riders incapacitated, the mighty beasts became confused, wreaking havoc within their own ranks. Seeing the tide of battle begin to shift, Alexander pressed forward, his cavalry crashing into Porus's lines with renewed vigor. The Macedonian phalanx advanced, spears glinting in the morning sun, driving the enemy back step by step. It was a display of discipline and precision, and soon, the mighty war elephants that had once seemed invincible became entangled in the chaos, trampling friend and foe alike. Yet, even as defeat loomed, King Porus stood tall. Refusing to retreat, he fought with the ferocity of a lion, his determination earning the respect of Alexander himself. In one final, desperate charge, Porus rallied the last of his forces, facing the Macedonian phalanx with unwavering courage. But it was not enough. Surrounded, outnumbered, and overwhelmed, Porus's army finally crumbled under the relentless assault. As the dust settled, Alexander the Great stood victorious once more, but this was no ordinary victory. The Battle of the Hydaspes was one of the most challenging battles he had ever fought, a battle that pushed him to his limits and forced him to adapt in ways he had never done before. Impressed by Porus's bravery, Alexander approached him, not as a conqueror, but as an equal. When asked how he wished to be treated, Porus, blooded but unbowed, simply replied, "Like a king." And Alexander, in a rare moment of admiration, granted him not only his life but his kingdom, allowing him to continue ruling as a vassal. This battle was more than just a clash of armies, it was a meeting of two great minds, two indomitable spirits who refused to yield, even when faced with overwhelming odds. It was here, on the banks of the Hydaspes, that Alexander proved once again why he was called the Great, and Porus and his place as one of history's most honorable warriors. Join us next time as we continue to unravel the incredible journeys of history's most legendary figures, only on Stellar Sagas, where every battle tells a story, and every story brings history to life. Thanks for watching. Support us through like, share, and subscribe to contribute, because we are donating 50% revenue of this channel to social welfare causes.